Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I have a little snow Texas rat snake here that is actually not fed since it was hatched, and it's about 6 weeks old now. So I want to take you guys on the journey of what happens when we're producing a lot of snakes. Not all of them eat. I've talked to you guys about ball pythons, how we assist feed them. Quite frankly, with a lot of colubrids, assist feeding just isn't an option. And I'm not a real big fan of like taking a pinky and shoving it down his throat. It just seems like a tremendous amount of stress, and actually you can injure the animal. So what we do is we actually tube feed the animals when they haven't fed. I want to take you on the entire journey where we get to the point where we are right now, and then walk you through how we do tube feeding, with the caveat of saying, I don't want you guys to tube feed. You got to remember, I've been doing this with vets and stuff like that for 30 years, and now I'm going to actually teach Eric how to do that. But Eric isn't going to just jump right in. He's going to learn with me, and then ultimately he can take over because he's the one that cares for these babies. So let's start with what we do when a baby is hatched and how we do get it to eat. Now, when a baby colubrid hatches out like this creamsicle scaleless corn snake, it actually has yolk in it, right? From the egg actually going into its body, and that's going to sustain it for anywhere from 7 to 10 days. So what we do is we let them hatch, we'll let them shed out. By that point, they've used up the majority of their yolk, and then we'll just literally offer it a frozen pinky. And then if it doesn't eat that frozen pinky, oftentimes we'll wait 4 or 5 days and we'll offer a frozen pinky again. Now, if it doesn't eat at that point, we go into trying different things. It might be live, it might be scented, it might be in a cup, all kinds of different tricks. But what happens is that if you've done all those things and now you get into 4, 5, 6 weeks since it hasn't eaten, the animal isn't very big, so it's obviously going to start to desiccate, and it could potentially perish if you don't get some kind of nutrition into it. Why they don't eat, I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming that with a corn snake in the wild, there's going to be 20, 25 eggs oftentimes. Not all those animals are going to make it to adulthood, so maybe it's just nature's way or something. I'm not 100% sure. But the truth is that we want to try to increase those odds so that the attrition rate of losses is much less. So once a baby corn snake or a king snake or a milk snake gets to 4 or 5 weeks of not eating, we want to go ahead and kind of be proactive and get some nutrition in, hoping that just 1 or 2 doses of nutrition will actually spark it to start eating. Back to the snow Texas rat snake. Again, this guy is about 5.5 weeks old, hasn't fed yet. We're going to go ahead and tube him a dose. Now, you might remember when I tubed a couple other animals, we use AD Science Diet Mixture. It's a really high kind of protein, got a bunch of nutrition, but we also add some Flagyl, which is an appetite stimulant, and some water, because you got to remember that snakes get a lot of their hydration through their prey. Sure, they'll drink some, but their prey is what's giving them the majority of that hydration. So we want to get some water into it too. We might get this guy feeling good, healthy, maybe put a little bit of size on him, and hopefully within the next week or 2 it'll start eating on its own. So let's go ahead, start mixing up the mixture and just going through the motions. Got Eric here because he is my student for the day, along with you guys, of course. A lot of this stuff is prescription, right? The AD Urgent Care Science Diet is prescription. Flagyl, which is a kind of medication for the stomach, also an appetite stimulant. And we're just going to mix up a slurry like we always do. This stuff is really good. It's kind of like a really kind of mushy thing, not like a normal cat food, because this is really made for basically tubing cats or even sometimes dogs that have medical issues. So it's kind of made for tubing. Of course, they can eat it as well, but you can see it's kind of mushy already. We want to make that a little bit more mushy because we're going to ultimately be tubing it through this tube right here. So what I want to do is first just add some of this appetite stimulant and the stomach Flagyl just to kind of keep things going. And I'm just going to add about this much. I don't have to add a ton. It's one of those things that you can actually dose it out 100% as well, but I've been doing this so long that I can kind of eyeball it, and you really don't overdose Flagyl. I want to add some water to make this kind of slurry even a little bit more loose, so it comes through that syringe really, really well. And again, this has so much nutrition in it. It's probably similar nutrition-wise if they were to eat a meal like pinkies and stuff like that. So ultimately, what you want to do is you just want to have that type of consistency, right? You don't want it a lot more runny. It's adding a little hydration. It's got a little bit of the medicine, and of course, it's got the actual kind of protein of the AD Science Diet. So once you get it to that mixture, you're basically just going to suck it up through this, right? And because we're going to do multiple animals, we'll probably just suck up like a pretty good amount of this, like right here. Now, you don't want to overdose your animals, and again, I keep stressing to everyone, please don't do this if you haven't got experience, because you can explode a stomach, you could puncture an intestine, you could do all kinds of stuff. But basically what I want to do is there's little dots on here, and I want to just do 1 unit. So from 9 to 8, 8 to 7, that's about the size of a small pinky when it comes to nutrition, right? So it's really easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this onto 10 right here, And now every snake we do, we know we just do one 10 to 9.
One dose.
Yeah, exactly. One dose per thing. And we're going to do this about every 5 to 7 days. Once we actually dose them, we're going to give them 4 or 5 days, offer them food. Hopefully they'll eat. If they don't eat, we'll dose them again, and we'll do that every week until they finally start eating, just to keep them going and stuff like that. So, okay, I'll get this all cleaned up, attach this little piece here, and ready to get started?
Great. Sounds good.
Let's do it. So basically, again, I want to continue to reiterate, I don't want you guys doing this. I just want to always show kind of the secrets that happens when you're producing a lot of snakes, because even if 1% of your snakes don't eat for whatever reason, natural reasons, you know, that can add up to a lot when you're producing thousands of snakes, right? You could maybe have 100 snakes that aren't eating, and you could do one of two things. You can try to do whatever you can do to try to get them to eat, which we already do, or you can start to actually tube feed them when you get to the point where you've tried everything, you're exhausted everything, and you don't want them to perish. You know, want to give these guys the biggest chance they could possibly have. Now, keeping in mind, some of them still won't make it, but I want to give anyone that wants to eventually maybe breed snakes, you know, show the side that most people don't show, right? So what I want to do is just super gently just kind of keep its head just like that. And again, I'm going to just open up its mouth with this tube right here. I'm going to slowly put the tube down. Now, I want the tube to go down about 1/3 of the body. Again, making sure it doesn't go into that little glottis, which is this breathing tube, right? So again, real gently like this. And then I'm looking at this right here. I'm going to go down one thing from 10. Just really slowly. From 10, again, super slow. 10 to 9 right there. Now I'm going to really gently take it out like this. I'm going to slowly just massage its belly a little bit, just so that it's getting down here. And now it's got a nice meal in it, just like that. Keeping its head up a little bit like that. You can see it's completely fine, you know? So there's no issues. I'm going to let you hold this for 1 second. One of the things we're going to do when we go through from the next snake is we're just going to take some alcohol and we're going to dry off this tube right here, right? Just to make sure. And then we're going to dry that off, the alcohol off, let that evaporate. It'll evaporate within seconds. You know, these are all captive bred animals, but you don't want to pass pathogens on from things. Just another way to make sure that the animals are staying healthy. And that's it, guys. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
Right.
Now, we just go through all the animals that are in that 5-6 week range that hasn't fed no matter what we've done, and we'll just give them this again each week. So you think you're up to it?
Great, sounds good. And hopefully that flagell seems to really stimulate them to want to eat. So even maybe the next time around we offer them food. I know in a lot of cases they just end up eating the meal anyways on their own. So this will definitely help.
This is, yeah, exactly. It's giving them substance, but it's also enticing them to eat. So oftentimes 2-3 times of this at the most, they're almost always eating on their own.
Right.
And it really reduces your losses with the normal attrition to animals that just don't eat. So it's a nice little trick that I've been using for years, and it really does work. And it's not too much tremendous stress on that animal. You can see that tube feeding takes, you know, 10-15 seconds. Whereas if I was shoving a pinky down, it would be like really stressful for that animal. And they used to have something that was called a pinky pump, that you would actually take a frozen pinky and it actually chopped the pinky up as you tubed it. Now with the AD Science diet, it's great, and it's a great alternative, right? So there it is. We're just going to tube some animals, and hopefully with any luck we'll keep you guys updated how these guys do in the next coming week. And you know, I'm always trying to figure out the best way to have the highest success rate with these animals, right? After 3 decades of working with them, we've learned a lot. You know, again, what we've learned on our own, what we've talked with vets and so on like that. And we just want your snake and our snakes to be healthy. And again, I talked about it earlier about the attrition rate. In the wild, there's a percentage of animals that just aren't going to survive, you know, whether they're attacked by predators or in some cases they're just born and they don't want to eat. I don't know why Mother Nature does it. We're trying to do the best we can do to make sure the animals are healthy and have the highest rate that we possibly can. So that's why I'm sharing stuff like this. And again, I'll be mentoring Eric over the coming weeks and months so that he can eventually take the lead and do this on his own. But I wouldn't want you guys to do it because, again, it's probably something that if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have someone looking over your shoulder, you could potentially hurt the snake. But again, I want to show you these kind of interesting tricks and techniques that we've learned to have the highest success rate to get healthy and happy snakes. Guys, I am super excited. The beginning of the podcast is here. It's not everything. This is only part of the stuff, but here are our mics, which are pretty cool. We got 3 of these mics. We'll probably end up getting maybe 1 or 2 more, just in case we ever have like 3 or 4 people on or something like that. But our mics are here. This is actually the audio part of it, which is called a Roadcaster. We'll also have a video switcher that this hooks up to too. But this way you can, you know, kind of do all the audio stuff that you need. Got some cords. So this is a start. We need standstill. We need the video, camera, stuff like that. But this is the very beginning of the podcast. By the way, a couple people mentioned over on my community channel, we did a poll, like checking in maybe as a podcast name. Raising the bar, I thought was a pretty good one. I don't know, still in the comments, still haven't decided what the name is, but as soon as we get the name, I'm going to need you guys to subscribe to that channel. So hopefully within the next few days, we'll have that together. I need your guys' support on that so we can get that going. And the podcast is almost here. We're here with Bruce, and of course, it is tarantula feeding time. And you just talked about how tarantulas don't have brains. So they actually have, what do they call it?
Well, it's like a cluster of nerves. They refer to it as a ganglia.
Ganglia. So how do tarantulas like hunt? I mean, if they're not thinking like we do, what is it that is the trigger for hunting?
So most of your tarantulas are ambush hunters, Brian.
Okay.
Like a lot of these guys, they typically are going to feel the vibrations on the ground and stuff like that. A lot of times you'll even see when we do the feeding, I kind of do dance a little bit around them, just to see if they'll feel it out and actually go for it.
So the vibration kind of triggers like, okay, food's coming, and a lot of these have urticating hairs, and that kind of helps as well as like the feeling and stuff like that.
So we actually refer to the hairs as setae on the body.
Setae.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like an antenna. They feel the vibrations, the air movement.
Okay,
like
cool.
That.
So, all right, cool. So again, tarantulas are wild. I hope that you guys, if you're scared of tarantulas like I used to be, hang in here with us, man, because they're really incredible animals. The more you learn, the less you're going to fear, and you're going to turn like me and become a tarantula lover and a bug lover. So this segment's going to be cool. We're going to feed our bugs, and we're going to have a great time. So let's just jump in with the red-knee tarantula. This is an emperor scorpion, and Bruce, what is the deal with this, how these guys eat?
So it's really actually kind of interesting because it's not quite like our tarantulas, so which, you know, like it almost seems like things sort of break down as they eat. Whereas these guys, you literally see them take piece by piece by piece by piece, and as they go, I mean, it's a slower process a lot of the times too. But I mean, to me, it's way more fascinating because you're literally seeing it all happen right then and there. And from my understanding, now I'm not a complete 100% expert on this, but my understanding is that also tarantulas have something internally that's somewhat like this. So they do start to break down their food just in a very much similar way. With most other scorpions, they use their stingers, their venoms to break down their food that way. It usually helps their liquefy most of their food. Whereas a scorpion, literally, as you can see here, they just take piece and they take piece, and it's just all brutal.
Is it true the bigger the claws, the less venom, or is it, how's that work?
Somewhat. So that's kind of like an old wives' tale, but it's a good rule of thumb. Like there are sword scorpions out there. They have some nasty venom, and their claws aren't necessarily small, at least in the perspective of scorpions. Okay. But it's a good rule of thumb. If you're out there in the desert, you see one with tiny claws, don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it. That's awesome. All right, next up is my girl zombie, the rose-haired tarantula. So tell me about how these guys actually eat. What's the difference between tarantulas?
So like a lot of times the tarantulas, especially like in the large true spider world, most of your tarantulas don't really have the most potent venom as far as like what they use to bite other animals or prey with. Most tarantulas are pretty much well known for their brute strength, that they're strong. They hold their food down, and they basically use a little bit of venom that they do have, and it helps break down their food. More similar to like our enzymes in our stomach. It helps break down our food, liquefies it.
Next up is the T Sapphire. She is one of the most beautiful tarantulas in the world, in my opinion, but she's in a weird spot. Bruce, you gonna be all right with this?
I'm gonna be a little less cocky this time.
All right, yeah, don't let it out this time. If you remember, link in the description, we let that one out one time and it got away. It took us about an hour to get it, so we're gonna try not to do that. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Gosh, she's beautiful.
Real slowly. Hopefully I'm not getting this way.
Whoa.
Cool. All right.
Oh, that's so incredible. Oh. That's a cool animal right there, man. Oh my gosh.
You actually see her spinning around right now, actually, and a larger reason why you see most tarantulas do that, and a lot of them actually do it, is they're laying down the web essentially to whatever's sort of left over their food that they haven't consumed themselves. It's sort of like kind of like putting your food in leftovers for refrigerator, you know, like they just need it for later whenever they get hungry again.
I find it really interesting that tarantulas are a lot like venomous snakes, where venomous snakes will literally continue to kind of oscillate their fangs from side to side, almost like they're chewing a little bit, but what they're really doing is injecting venom, and tarantulas are very similar to that. But in the sense with the tarantula, of course, they're using that to inject the enzymes to help digest their food. Just a really, truly interesting thing that you see the comparison between tarantulas and venomous snakes. If you like this video, can you do me a favor and watch that video too? I could use the click-through rate to go up, if you know what I mean. Over here, you can roll through a bunch of videos. That would even help me more. You can subscribe right here. Turn the post notifications on if you don't mind. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you guys tomorrow.